So everyone, good morning once again. This is the Let's Review Educational Assessment that we have for this day. Let me present to you first our speaker for this morning. She is already a licensed professional teacher. She finished BS Agricultural Education and has also earned her MA in Educational Management, MA in Guidance and Counseling, and completed academic requirements for PhD in Educational Management. Currently, she has 7 Google Scholar citations, and throughout the years, she has been handling the assessment of student learning, even if it was ASSET 21, ASSET 22, and currently in the new curriculum, EDUC 75 and EDUC 8. So without further ado, I would like to present to you our speaker for this morning, Ms. Annabella C. Comment.
Thank you so much. Ganda siguro simulan natin ang ating activity kasi since na fresh pa tayo, and let us have first a photo opportunity, no? Before we start with the review. Baka kasi after ng review wala na ang ating mga beauty. Baka at least at this moment of time fresh pa tayo, let us try to have our photo opportunity to open our camera first para makita ang ating mga kagandahan at kagwapuhan.
3 days later.
Morning once again. So this is our pang-ilang session na ba ito? Tapos na tayo sa curriculum at saka sa foundation, but unfortunately we were not able to handle supposed to be the face-to-face of assessment as well as the child and adolescent. Yun dapat no? Now if ever this activity will be successful for today using the MS team, we will push through with this activity, scheduling the subject of I think classroom management, which is the principles of teaching by Sir Arlan. In another one in the afternoon, we will have the inclusive education plus special topics with Ma'am Pardines. So sana mag-work para kahit papano, the heat index will never control us in reviewing for us in order for our student to pass the licensure examination for teachers. Yan ang ating aim. Papasa ka ba? Papasa tayong lahat at papasa ang sama-sama. Walang maiiwan. Let us hope and pray for that. So let us begin. Okay. Before anything else, since your the one with you is Ma'am Bell, so I have here some tips. Some tips about answering the questions in the licensure examination for teacher. This is what we call the acronym BELL. BELL the questions. Let's try to find out what does BELL, the acronym BELL, represents. The very first letter, B, of course, you have to break down the question. Kailangan alam natin yan kung ano ang nilalaman ng tanong. So breaking it down, you try to analyze it. Letter E, eliminate the irrelevant options. So if you have seen the option, mostly kasi 4 yan, try to see what are those irrelevant options that I should remove or eliminate. Then letter L, you have to look for the key words. Ano ba yung important words that I have to give emphasis both in the option and even in the question. And then you have to think logically, leverage logical reasoning. We have now to find out which is which among it, and try lastly is to evaluate the remaining choices. So again, B, break down the question. E, eliminate irrelevant options. L, look for keywords. L, leverage logical reasoning. And lastly, evaluate the remaining choices. So let us try to apply this by having one question or a scenario where we can apply this acronym. So let us proceed. Okay, look at this. Now, it is a set, one class composing of animals, and we have this class as the teacher, Teacher Teddy, Teacher Teddy is about to give an examination. How many students do we have here? Ilan ang students natin? Okay, can we have Mariela Pateño to answer it? Just tell me, ilan po ang students natin dito?
Ma'am, we have 112 po. Sa meeting po ba?
112. Kasama tayo sa mga estudyante ni Sir Teddy, ni Mr. Teddy?
Ay, sorry po. Ano?
Okay lang yon. Definitely, we belong to the students of Sir Teddy. Now, in the picture, ilan ang students ni Sir Teddy?
8 po siguro.
8 ba? Tignan, identify mo yung mga students niya. Sino yung mga students niya?
Yung fish, yung dog, yung elephant, yung penguin, monkey, eagle, frog, and ano ba ito?
Sila yun.
Yes.
Okay, so ilan? 2, 4, 6, 8. Kasama tayo, ano? As the students of Sir Teddy. Now, let us try to see where we can apply our BEL acronyms. I'll try to read first the instruction here. For a fair selection, can you go back first? For a fair selection, this Sir Teddy has mentioned that everybody has to take the same exam. Take note of the same exam. The exam is this. Please get to the 3 top. Yun ang exam niya. So, let's proceed and apply the BEL acronym. Okay. Here's the sample question. Teacher Teddy would like to test the ability of his students by giving the instruction. As I read a while ago, for a fair selection, everybody is to take the same exam. Please get to the 3 top. Do you think that his way of testing is acceptable? So, letter A, yes, equal opportunity for all. B, no, the exam is too hard. C, yes, the students have the freedom to choose their strategy. And lastly, the letter D, no, the students differ from one another. So, let us apply the first one. Okay, let us try the first one. Break down the questions. So, in breaking down the question, we underline or emphasize fair selection, same exam, and find out if it is acceptable. So, that is the first thing that we have to do. Second one, we have to eliminate irrelevant options. And we found out the irrelevant questions here or options are, yes, equal opportunity for all. Are they equal? No, the exam is too hard. It depends. So they are just irrelevant questions or irrelevant options. Let's try the next one. We have to look for the keywords. And what are the keywords that we have in the remaining options? So we have the term freedom, and the other one is differ from one another. So in that aspect, after looking for the keywords, we have to leverage now our logical reasoning and find out whether it's the freedom or differ from one another that will match with our important keywords that we have in our question. So after that leveraging logical reasoning, we are now about to evaluate the remaining choices. And upon evaluation, everyone is a freedom. But we all know that every student or all the students differ from one another. So in that aspect, we can say that the correct answer here is letter D, by the application of the BEL acronym, where you have to really evaluate the remaining choices. And lastly, you found out that our answer is no, that particular exam is not acceptable because the students differ from one another. Is this applicable to us? Do you think this kind of situation is applicable to us? Trixie Miguel, are you there?
Yes. Yes po.
How can we, about this? How can you apply? Can we apply this in our real life situation, classroom situation?
Likewise po in a classroom situation, each student is different from one another. So we cannot just test them with a single test exam. We should parang apply rin po yung nata-target po yung capacity or other key or criteria po ng each student since different campus nila.
Okay, because everyone has his own multiple intelligence or potentials, no? So in giving examinations, you have to consider also their multiple intelligence or the differences of every individual. So thank you so much, So that is it. That is now the application of our BEL term, or the acronym BEL, for answering the question. So let's proceed now to the real answer. Okay, that is it. For a first selection, everybody is to take the exam. Please get to the treetop. Our answer is, it is not acceptable, and the students differ from one another. Now, in assessment, we always encounter important terminologies that sometimes confusing on our part. We might say these are the terms like the test, measurement, assessment, and evaluation. For us to understand fully these terminologies, let us try to understand it one by one. Every time we hear about test, I think it is somewhat threatening on our part. Naku, may test ba tayo? Anong sabi ni ma'am? Test po ba ito? Kahit exercise or assignment, tatanungin pa rin ng bata, test po ba ito? And that you feel differently. Andiyan na yung feeling na anxiety or feeling nervous every time you encounter the term test. Now, take note, test is a tool or instrument. We want to measure the skill, the knowledge, the skills, and attitude of an individual. But take note, when we mention test, maybe our attitude towards it should be something different, no? Huwag tayong matatakot, no? Dahil if every time that you feel the same way na when you hear the term test, ang feeling nyo agad natatakot, what more when we are about to take the board for licensure examination for teachers or professional teachers. Kaya, importante, gain confidence lang tayo. Be confident enough that whatever it will be, as long as we are ready, we can have it. So that is the test. Now, what about the measurement? When we talk about a measurement, no, it is a process of quantifying. There's a term quantifying. And if there is a quantifying, meaning you have to assign number. Kaya hindi kayo malilito. You quantify, you set numbers in order for you to measure. That kind of performance you and the students should perform. So remember, measurement, there should be a certain numerical value that will represent quantifying. But remember also that in assessment, we do not only deal with quantity. No? The quantity of interest, there should always be a quality of interest. But measurement alone, that is still with quantity. Malilito doon. Now, what about the assessment? Now, assessment, it is a systematic, collection of review or a process of gathering, organizing, and analyzing the evidences of the student's performance. We just want to know that every individual or about the educational programs that we have, so that we want to improve the student learning and development. So yung process mismo na ginagawa natin on how we assess our student. Andyan na yung performance, andyan na yung test, andyan na yung different requirements that we are asking the student to perform. That is a part of assessment, which is definitely documentation. Okay? Huwag kalilimutan yung process mismo from measurement, no, which is the integral part of assessment. Walang assessment kung walang measurement. It is a part. And definitely, once we are assessing, we are looking for a certain value and making a judgment afterwards. And that judgment that will give word to the activity, to the term, to the project, to the program, that is what we call evaluation. So in evaluation, you are giving the word, you are giving the value of a certain program, whether you have met your objectives or not, whether you have met the student outcomes that you are looking for. So wag kayong malilito sa mga terminologies na to. Now, the evaluation is the integral part of educational system. Kung ang measurement ay integral part of assessment, assessment is integral part of evaluation, and evaluation is the integral part of educational system. Why? Because without these things, we will never know whether our program or curriculum is successful or not. Kasi doon mababase ang effectiveness ng curriculum natin, ng program natin. So definitely, assessment is very, very important, leading to evaluation. So let us try to apply if you understood the discussion that we have here by having some exercises. I am requiring you or requesting you to have a piece of paper so that you can write your answer and try to have a wise guess on the possible answer to each question. Let us start with the first question. So the first question is this. Who among the teachers described below is doing assessment? A. Miss Abad, who is administering a test to her students. B. Mr. Benitez, who is counting the scores of taking a test. C. Miss Cruz, who is computing the grade of the students after completing all the requirements. D. Dr. De Los Santos, who is planning for remedial instruction after finding out that his students perform poorly in the test. Okay. You may try to analyze the question. Joanne Daniel, answer lang. A, B, C, or D?
Good morning po.
Good morning.
Letter C po.
Your answer is letter C. Okay. Why is letter C? Konting explanation lang, anak, before we proceed. Para alam natin kung bakit letter C.
Kasi po yung question is doing assessment. So for me po yung assessment, parang evaluating po the students' knowledge, kung may naintindihan po sila. So yung by computing their grades po. Parang yun po, yung letter C.
Let us see, ha? So I hope everyone can see the right answer here. So thank you so much. Let us try to see the next one, the correct answer. Okay. But walang dancing mode yata. Oh, wow, nasa dancing mode si Ma'am Bell. Can you see? Nakakasayaw ako dyan. Dyan man lang makasayaw ako, ano? Okay, the correct answer is Miss Cruz, who is computing the grade of the students after completing all the requirements. Take note, assessment yan eh, no? Pag sinabing assessment, nagka-gather tayo ng mga evidences, no? Nag-a-analyze, mag-organize. Unlike with letter A, Miss Abad, nag-a-administer lang siya ng test at is testing lang. Si Mr. Benitez, nagme-measure lang, counting, ano? Si Dr. De Los Reyes naman, nagkaroon na siya ng evaluation at nagpa-plan na siya kung anong gagawin, no? For remedial instruction. So definitely, the correct answer is letter C. And sana lahat tama ang sagot. Let's proceed to the next question.
Which of the following statements are correct? Testing is a process where an instrument is used to measure a characteristic. 2. Measurement is the process of qualifying a given characteristic. 3. Evaluation is the analysis of quantitative and qualitative data for decision making. 4. Assessment is the gathering of quantitative and qualitative data. And the options are A, 1 and 2 only, B, 2 and 4 only, C, 1, 2, and 3, and then letter D, 1, 3, and 4.
Isip-isip, analyze lang po tayo. Okay, ready? Can we have someone to answer? Okay, let us see. So, which of the following statement are correct? Correct answer is letter D. Bakit kaya letter D? Okay, hindi kasama yung 1, 3, and 4, hindi kasama yung 2. Because when you see yung 2, measurement is the process of qualifying. Take note, it is not qualifying. It is quantifying. Binigyan ko ng emphasis kanina, no? Although quantity is always accompanied by quality. Kaya lang pag measurement talaga, quantity ang binibigyan ko. Yung 1 naman, testing is a process of instrument. Tama po siya to measure the characteristic. 3, evaluation is analysis of quantitative and qualitative. Tama din po yun, which is necessary for decision making. And lastly is the gathering of quantitative and qualitative data. That is still part of assessment. And remember, andun yung gathering, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting of students' performance. So that's it. The correct answer is 1, 3, and 4, which is letter E. So let's proceed to the next one. Let me discuss to you these important principles of high-quality assessment. I-discussing ko lang siya partly, shortly, and briefly. Kumbaga, since review siya, hindi natin pwede to discuss in detail. The very first one is a clear and appropriate learning target. It is very important that both the students and the teacher should have a clear and appropriate learning targets. Mahirap yun, ano? Parang pag tayo nasa dagat, ano? And we are sailing and we do not have any direction, hindi natin alam kung saan tayo pupunta. So in our case, every time we have any activity or anything that we have to do, we must set clear and appropriate learning targets. Ito na yung paggawa ng student learning outcome or student learning objectives. Pumapasok dito ang alin? Ang cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. And I hope everyone is very familiar with these three important domains kasi once you make your objectives in your lesson plan or in any activity that you are about to have, make it sure, and you have to be sure na clear po siya and appropriate. Now, second one, it's not only the learning targets should be appropriate, but even the methods that you have to use. Mahirap yun, no? You want to measure the size or the weight, ang gagamitin mo ay ruler or meter stick. But definitely, it should be a weighing scale. So, what do I mean? Whatever you want to measure, if you want to measure the performance, you cannot use an ordinary test, which is a written, since it is a performance examination. So you have to use rubrics there and some competencies that you have to measure. So be sure your methodology that you have to use should be aligned with your objective. There should be a vertical articulation. Third is balance. Now, it is important that your assessment should be balanced because we are after with the holistic development of an individual. Pag sinabi natin holistic, it is the mind, it is the body, and it is the heart. Kaya, pag gumagawa tayo ng objective, meron tayong cognitive, which is related to the mental processes, and then we have the affective, which is related to the values and attitude and behavior. And of course, we have the psychomotor, which deal with your skills. Okay? Now, aside from that, if you are making an examination, you have to balance your exam also. Kailangan meron siyang lots and hots. Ano ibig sabihin ng lots and hots? Merong lower order thinking skills which are usually answered who, what, where, when. But when we say hots, it is the higher order thinking skills which can develop what? The analytic and critical thinking of the students, where you can ask questions about why, how, profound your answers, explain this. So in that manner, it should be balanced. Because when we talk of balance, remember, that should be something holistic. Tulad din sa buhay ng bawat tao, no? All works and no play make a dull boy. Kailangan, kung tayo ay nagkatrabaho, kung tayo ay nag-aaral, meron din tayong time mag-relax at to have pleasure. So we have to have a balanced life. Same thing with assessment. And next one is validity. When we say validity, it is the correctness, the appropriateness of your learning targets. And be sure, once you have target and met your objectives, that means it is already valid. Parang pag nagmagawa ka, nagta-target kayo, no? Na bullseye. Pag bullseye yun, tinamaan nyo yung target nyo, that is valid. Kasi tama eh. Na-hit nyo ang inyong objective. Okay? That is validity. Now, when we talk of reliability, ang reliability yung consistent result. It should be stable and it should be dependable. Kapag ang resulta ng inyong assessment ay pabago-bago, kanina ay 10, bigyan naging 7, inulit mo lang ang test, no? Tapos naging 3, it is not consistent. So, therefore, we cannot say that your assessment is reliable. But remember, validity and reliability are always, no? They are, kumaga sa para magpinsan yan, magkamag-anak. We cannot say that all reliable exams are valid. Sinabi, ay, reliable na exams na to, valid na to. Hindi pwede yun. Pwedeng consistent ang result, pero hindi mo na-hit ang iyong target. But when you say that the examination or assessment you have is valid, automatic po siya ay reliable. Hindi nyo siyang pwedeng sabihin valid kung ang exam ay hindi reliable. Okay? Para din yan sa effective at efficient. Pag hindi nyo pwedeng sabihin na kayo ay efficient kung hindi kayo effective. Pero pwede kayong tawaging effective pero hindi kayo efficient. So, ang efficient is tantamount to validity. Ang effective is tantamount to reliability. Doing the right thing is effective. Doing the things right is efficient because you have to save time, you have to save effort in making an assessment or doing your things that you are about to make. So, do not forget it, ha? Pag validity, hitting the target. Pag reliability, consistent ang ating result. Dependable yan, stable. And fairness, siyempre walang bias, hindi may favoritism. At pag nag-exam ka, nagbigay ka ng exam sa estudyante, dapat alam din ng bata ang iyong criteria, ang iyong mga rubrics, no? Pag nag-a-assess ka. The students must know what you are about to assess from them, no? Ano bang i-assess namin ng teacher? Ano bang pag-i-examine namin? Manghula ba kami? So to be fair, no biases. Huwag yung bibigyan mo lang ito sa isang section, sa ibang section na hindi, o sa batang ito, sa ibang bata. You have to be fair in everything when you are giving an assessment. Make sure the students should also know it. Now, practicality and efficiency, you are saving time, you are saving resources. Kapag nagbigay ka ng exam, lalo na sa mga math major, binigyan kayo ng 20-question problem solving, pero you have to answer that in 15 minutes. Parang shocking, ano? Paano na matatapos to? The time that you have to intend for a question that you have given should be also appropriate. You have to be practical. And the time that you have to consume in answering and even in checking the paper should also be something that is justifiable. So, practicality and efficiency. And take note, an assessment is a continuous process. Bakit continuous process? You can give the assessment before, during, or after the activity. And it should be continuously done. Hindi pwedeng, ay tapos na yung assessment po ngayon, bukas wala na. Hindi po. Pag sinabi nating assessment, it is continuous. It never ends. Because after the evaluation, papasok ka na naman again doon sa panibago. So, it is continuously being done. And remember also, there is authenticity, which is number 9. Authenticity is something genuine, something original, something that is based on your real life experiences. Pag nagbigay ka ng exam or assessment for any activity, dapat nakabase sa buhay or experience ng estudyante. Wag yung sa mga baka yung kanilang mga examples ay nababase sa mga life ng sa ibang bansa or life ng mga ating mga foreigners or foreign countries. So that won't be applicable to them. Sana it is within their range. It is within their life experiences. That is authenticity. Something that you apply in a real life situation. And there's always be a communication when you are giving an assessment. Why? Because the students are expecting for feedback. Ano ba nakuha ko doon? Ano ba yung reaction ko? Bumasa ba ako o hindi? Anong dapat kong improve? Ano pa ang dapat kong i-maintain? At ano pa ang dapat kong kailangan kong gawin in order to have a better performance in this kind of activity? And another one, which is 11, a positive consequences. Take note, if you give an assessment, it should be something not discouraging, hindi nakaka-demotivate, but something that can motivate your students and they can gain something out of your assessment, because from your assessment, you can apply it. Not only within the school, but even outside the school. Yun ang magiging consequence noon. Hindi nagbigay ka ng minus, nagbigay ka ng ganito, pero do you think the consequence that you have given in the assessment that you have done can really motivate your students? And lastly, the most important thing of all is the ethics. When we talk about ethics, it deals with what is good and what is bad. Is it moral or immoral? So, important. We are educators, future educators, and take note, ethics should always be there. Now, when we talk about the most ethical consideration that we have to consider when you are having an assessment is what? The safety of every individual. Kaya nga ngayon, naka-asynchronous tayo eh. Bakit? Gawa ng heat index. We are after with your safety. It's not only physically, but you have to be sure that your students are also safe emotionally or even mentally or even spiritually. Dapat safe kayo, no? Safe. Kaya pag pumasok ang bata, kung makikita nyo ang ating university, talagang may mga guard tayo, talaga ang mga bakod, no? Well fenced siya, because we want our student to be safe. It's the same thing with other companies, no? Ito kino-consider po ang ethics pag nagbibigay tayo ng assessment. Now, marami pang ethics that we have. Confidentiality. Dapat hindi mo pwedeng i-disclose yung some important things or even the score of your student and announce it to the class. Mahirap yun. Baka may mga estudyante ayaw ma-disclose ang kanilang grades. So definitely, we have to consider that. There are so many things that you have to consider in ethics, and I think if we will be discussing it, it will be a long way thing for discussion. Basta tandaan nyo lang, the most ethical consideration of all, you have to be sure na ang estudyante nyo ay safe, not only physically, emotionally, socially, even sa mga bully na yan, mahirap yan. May mga klase tayong bully, dapat safe yan. Respect is the key word. Let us try to respect one another. So here are the principles of high quality assessment that we have to consider. 1, clear and appropriate learning targets. 2, appropriate methods. 3, balance. 4, validity. 5, reliability. 6, fairness. 7, practicality and efficiency. 8, continuous process. 9, authenticity. 10, communication. 11, positive consequences. And lastly, the most important one, ethics. So let us try to apply and have some questions related to the principles of high quality.
The most ethical consideration in assessment is A, confidentiality, B, deception, C, safety, or D, temptation.
Naku, pag nagkamali pa naman dyan, ewan ko na. Sureball na tayo dyan. May nag-raise ang hand. Okay. Ace? Are you there, Ace?
Hello, ma'am. Currently, nasa biyahe po. Yan po.
Okay. Alam mo yung sagot?
I believe, ma'am, safety po.
Very good. Let us see nga kung tama sagot ni Sir Ace. Okay. So, the correct answer is letter C because I had mentioned to you, the safety of the student is always the priority. Kaya nga hindi tayo nag-face-to-face eh. The heat index will never control us. We will still learn all the way through. Now, ang confidentiality, pwede pa yan, deception and temptation, but the very first one is, let's have the next question.
Which principle of assessment reflects teaching emphasis should parallel testing emphasis? A, balance. B, fairness. C, practicality and efficiency. Or letter D, clarity and appropriateness of learning targets.
Okay. Andun sinasabi ko nun, it should be a vertically articulated. Dapat may vertical articulation. So, what is the correct answer? Let us reveal. The correct answer is clarity and appropriate of learning targets. Diba, minention ko sa inyo kanina, dapat po malinaw at tama ang ating learning targets para for testing emphasis. Balance naman yung hats and lots, no? Practicality, saving time and resources. Ang fairness, walang bias. So, our correct answer is letter